So we get out and we go to this place, and it is packed.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Yeah, none but pickup trucks outside.
Yep.
And all the guys were just, coming out off of the field. These were real Cowboys.
Yep.
In fact, my son was only about like 3, and we're telling him we're in Texas. We're going to see Cowboys, the whole bit, right? So we're there, we're eating dinner, and these guys are dressed like Cowboys. I mean, they're big, right?
Yes.
They got, the little scarf on, whatever they call that. And
yes.
some of them have chaps on and all this other stuff. And my son goes, "Daddy, are these real Cowboys?" I turned to my wife and said, "If these ain't Cowboys, we're in a gay bar."
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just don't make me choose. Still a man. Pork fat baby back blues.
Gdayall, partner. And welcome to episode 37, Jerky and Cowboy Food. Because Saturday, June 12th is National Jerky Day.
Well, howdy.
That's so funny. Do you know who my favorite cowboy is? I bet you don't.
Wild Bill Hickok. I don't know.
No, Brad Pitt and Thelma and Louise. Now, Phil, I've got a very serious cowboy question for you.
Yeah, okay.
Who are you New Yorkers most proud of? City Slicker Cowboy Billy Crystal or the Naked Cowboy?
Oh, well, I met the Naked Cowboy.
Did you?
Here in Australia.
Oh,
Yeah,
was he clothed or still naked?
No, he had his costume on.
Right.
Yeah, and they did a big promotion at the time when Mars used to make money, and they had 3 weeks in New York promotion.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and met him and a few other famous people. The guy from Queer Eye for
Carson?
Carson, yeah.
Yes, I love
and
Carson.
I even got a picture of him with me. Yeah.
Really? How come
Can't show you. No.
Oh. I was gonna say, how come I haven't seen that? But I'm not asking. And have you ever heard of a corn dodger?
A corn dodger?
A corn dodger. Say it again. I love
it. A corn dogger or a dodger?
Dodger.
Corn dodger. So that's a dodger dog with corn on it?
Well, yeah, it is the early corn dog. Not quite a corn dog, but it's cowboy corn dog.
Oh.
So we'll talk a little bit about that later.
Mm-hmm. So,
yes?
Now you want me to talk.
I've done my bit.
Well, I don't know. We're going to have a big hootenanny here.
Actually, hang on. Did you have to learn square dancing in school?
Are you serious?
Oh, we had to learn it. That's why I'm asking you.
Because you lived in the country.
That's probably dosey.
The only square dancing we learned is how to kill the roaches in the corner. What a square dancing.
That's what we had in PE. And do you know, his funny sister Monica, who I mentioned before, was from the UK, and she'd sit there and go, "All right, and dosey-do," and swing your partner to the left.
Yeah, no, I don't think that would go over too well at New Trick High School.
Yeah, no, we were...
or even Regina Pontius.
Yes, it would have been that age. Okay, now...
We were doing a Donatella, maybe that's... Okay, so let's get a little bit of the housework out of the way.
God,
okay, got the vacuum out?
Here we go, yeah.
Okay, so... Now, don't forget, now we got the listener thing, the secret word now goes for the whole month of June.
That is
right. This month is swoon.
Swoon. SWOON.
Yeah, for those who don't know how to spell swoon.
Well, it could be how we pronounce it.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to buy something the other day, and between the person's Scottish accent and my accent, we didn't understand each other. We almost had to write notes.
You can't understand anybody from Scotland.
And when you want to use that discount code when you check out online, so either for an online order to be shipped to you or click and collect to pick up, there's a little box that says, enter your promo code or gift certificate code, and you pop swoon in there.
Yep, right at the end.
Right at the end.
And then all your discounts come up.
That's right.
And don't forget, you can't use it in the store, but you could do click and collect. So if you want to get the discount, do a click collect, come to the store and do your other shopping.
That's
there.
Exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, enough said with that. And don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us, it's podcast at usafoods.com.au.
Yes.
And one other last thing on the housekeeping. Coming up.
Yes, we're having special day in the shop for 4th of July.
Yeah, which is on June 26th, which is not 4th of July.
But, it's close enough. That's where we're recording.
Yeah, because we are doing a pre-recorded, as always.
That's right. So there's going to be fun, There's going to be laughter. There's going to be food.
Yeah, no fireworks.
No
No,
fireworks.
we're not allowed.
No.
We probably get banned, even though I could say that we are.
Don't stop.
No, I'm not going to stop. That'd be my rant of the day.
I know.
You know, if we want fireworks because it's part of our tradition,
Right.
we should be able to have fireworks because other traditions have fireworks on their traditional days.
Okay. But we can't.
Well, we never tried. But if we do, that's my argument.
Okay, fair enough. If
Okay.
you have to fight it, you fight it. And also, everyone, we're doing a show coming up on copycat ideas. So, copycat recipes. So, do you have one that you have fallen back on all these years? Like, ranch dressing tastes like Hidden Valley or
Yeah.
whatever. We want to hear it.
Good coffee crumb cake.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All of that. I think even Hostess, like Twinkies.
Yeah.
And I know there's some out there for Oreos, like homemade Oreos.
Why?
I know that's a
Yeah.
bit of work.
Yeah.
Don't need that one. But if you get a good sauce, a good
Yeah, like something
hamburger
from
that
that Italian place the Italians don't go to.
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
Yes, we want to hear all of that. So come back to
Or
us.
blooming onions from the Outback Steakhouse.
So yes, so it is a restaurant like the old days. It'd be Chili's or one of their good things, and you can copy it perfectly. Let us know, and you can send those to podcast@usafoods.com.au, and we will give you full credit for it.
Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? Besides Cowboys and
Well,
Jerky or
Cowboy-
Jerky Cowboys. The Jerky Boys. Remember that?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
got to look them up now.
Not right now, though. We've
Okay.
got things to do.
All right, well, out there in Radio Land, do a search for the Jerky Boys.
After you finish listening to us,
Yeah.
please do that. Yeah, we're going to talk about what is cowboy food.
Yeah,
What
is
is it? Well, we'll talk about that. Just hold
Singing
your horse.
around the campfire.
Hold your horses.
Woo!
Cowboy coffee.
Yeah.
That'll put hair on your chest. And the history of jerky. We're going to talk about beans, sarsaparilla, and there is a very special stew. What is it called, Phil?
Son of a bitch. It's still, no, I stubbed my toe. No, it's, yeah, that's what it's
That's
called.
right.
Can we say that on?
SOB stew. How's that?
SOB. It's like
Yeah.
SOS. I think that's Cowboy too, ain't it?
No, I think
And that
this
was a
is-
military thing.
Yes, that's right.
Mhm.
That is right. And
Modern renditions of cowboy food
yes, correct.
and cowboy vocabulary.
There's some funny ones that we can say. There's probably many we can't.
Shoot.
That would be.
That's from Kansas. That's close enough.
My grandmother used to tell me I was growing like a weed, or you're slower than molasses in winter.
Yeah. Okay, and we'll go on to fun facts.
Fun fact.
I think we had a lot of fun already.
we have.
Yeah. According to, you can say this one. 'cause I
Okay,
don't have
according to
glasses.
trail lore, occasionally the cook, who's often called Cookie,
Yeah.
threw a horseshoe into the coffee pot. If the horseshoe sank, it was said the coffee wasn't quite ready. There were hardy times on the range.
Did they clean the horseshoe before they threw it into the pot?
Really, it's going to boil. Like, what's
Oh,
the point?
yeah.
You don't even know. As
No.
long as the hoof wasn't attached to the shoe, that's all I've got to say. And fun fact number 2, Phil, this is a good one for you.
The vegan cow or vegan.
Vegan.
Vegan, yeah. How do I always say? Because I always pronounce my E's like an A. It has to
E's-
do with the transition or
Or
something.
you,
I
or
don't know.
you sing Vegas.
Yeah. The
So-
Vegas Cowboys.
The
or
Vegas
Vegas-
Cowboys,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, so they reappropriated leftovers by forming them into patties and refrying them later.
So beans. So it's a first vegan, patty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or what they call that, squeak and bubble.
Bubble and squeak.
Yeah.
Bubble and squeak. That is here.
And then we got fun fact number 3,
Yes.
Gene Autry.
Yes, Gene Autry, Moses in a Saddle, had 10 cowboy codes. So it was like a club. So kids were right away for things, and he had 10 codes of the range to be like a good
Ah,
cowboy, all about being a good person. He did have an issue with number 9 of the 10 Commandments. He had a slight issue with that one. You can look it up.
I can look it up. Okay. So I guess something we can't talk about.
Well, we can talk about it, but let's just leave his reputation intact for now.
Yeah,
and destroy dreams later.
And then this is a new one to me. The New York City.
Yeah.
This is from New York City.
That is right.
Right. Federation of Black Cowboys is an organization dedicated to keeping alive the memory and traditions of African American cowboys from the Old West. So why are they doing it in New York? Because we didn't have any cowboys there.
Well, what happened? It's located in the whole low-lying neighborhood on the border of Brooklyn and Queens. So there's stables in that area. There were stables, so you can still ride and do things. About 25 to 35% of cowboys in the old days were African American. So it's just remembering. So doing it, it's a great thing for kids growing up. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like the Cowboy Boy Scouts in a way. It's keeping those traditions alive. It's, doing things for others and just remembering where you came from. So I guess all good things go to New York. Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
so they still
here's a story about sort of cowboy-ish with horses. We're talking about cowboys and horses. I was going to a trade school called William E. Grady in Brighton, Brooklyn.
Right.
There was a Brighton in Brooklyn. Okay. And looking out over, the school was only about 3 stories high.
Yep.
So when you're on the second or third story, you overlooked at one part of it, the police range where they trained their horses.
Oh, wow.
So which was quite interesting. You look there and, they're always doing different things with horses and stuff and getting them to train to be police horses. So on my first real job after the Bagel Bakery, I worked for EDS with famous Texan Ross Perot at the helm. And he had a tough time in New York because we were going through a recession and just like that. He bought up some brokerage houses and things, and we worked at the brokerage area. And also servicing Schaefer Beer was one of our clients. But he had a love affair with horses, and he had the love affair with the police horses of New York.
Right.
And then when New York was going through a really tough time, they were going to do away with the Mounted Brigade.
Oh.
And all of a sudden they got a donation, and it never came out till like 30 years later. The donation was from him to keep the force intact.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So good old Ross Perot.
A little Texan helping out.
So if you go to Dallas, his name is all over the place because his other fortune, the rest of his fortune, he spent on children's museums and stuff around Dallas.
Oh, I didn't realize he was such a philanthropist as well as a good businessman.
A good businessman, yep. Good Texan.
Good Texan. Well, there you go. There's a little bit of New York and a little bit of cowboys everywhere. You can't run from a cowboy.
Not even if you're on a horse. Yeah. Okay, we'll be right back. We'll take our first pause. We'll get some cowboy fritters. All right, we're back. Now we're going to talk, what is cowboy food?
Well, you got to think about the cowboys would, run cattle across long areas for long periods of time. So it had to be stuff that was stable in the wagon. They had a nice cook that was looking after them. Occasionally they would stop and do things. So really it consisted of beans, hard biscuits, which sounds like those cookies we talked about all those times. You had to dip them in some. Dried meat, so there's your jerky, dried fruit, and coffee, and whatever they shot on the way.
Yeah, they found dead on the road.
That's right. So they didn't really take advantage of the herd if they didn't have to. If something they had to put down, well, that was fair game.
Yeah, and they would have plenty of big appetites.
Oh, yeah, because it's hard work. So they'd have breakfast, which usually consisted pretty much the same thing as dinner. Mm-hmm. And then they would go off with a brown baguette sort of thing. The cookie would do that.
Okay. And, it's, we've been down to the west, to the panhandle of Texas, driving through there. And we went to this museum. So it was like how they lived back in the day. And the cellars and all that. So it showed all that in the museum. And on the way there, I always had this habit of picking out places to eat. I said, "Oh, we'll stop at this place when we get out of here and go for lunch." And it was like just like a building, big parking lot around it, in mud parking lot. It wasn't paved or anything, and because this place was off the road, so we get out and we go to this place, and it is packed.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Yeah, none but pickup trucks outside.
Yep.
We get inside, and it was like everything was like $5.95, $6.95 for lunch. It included a full salad bar, which was enough to eat with hot foods and salads and stuff on there. And all the guys were just coming out off of the field. These were real Cowboys. Yep. In fact, my son was only about like 3, and we're telling him we're in Texas. We're going to see Cowboys, the whole bit, right? So we're there, we're eating dinner, and these guys are dressed like Cowboys. I mean, they're big, right?
Yes.
They got, the little scarf on, whatever they call that.
Yes.
Some of them have chaps on and all this other stuff. And my son goes, "Daddy, are these real Cowboys?" I turned to my wife and said, "If these ain't Cowboys, we're in a gay bar."
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's a truth. And the food was outrageous. The people were lovely,
That's right. And you need stick to your ribs
and
sort of food.
And plenty of it.
Well, the thing is, the people that own the cattle, they get better work if people were fed well. Like that was very important. And beans were like a large part of it, which was a lot of protein. And then that kind of brought in things like chili that came later on, and mashed beans and soups, dried meat. So that gave them energy.
Yeah. So it's all stuff that was basically portable.
Yeah, that's
right. All they need was water.
That's right.
And a fire.
And it was, Dutch ovens and, frying pans, cast iron, a lot of cast iron.
Yeah. And they put it on the thing, started in the morning, and by the time they got off, it was all done.
That's exactly right. So it's stick to your ribs, really nutritious food. And also, as we'll get to the stew that's coming up, that's interesting. It was the old days. They actually listened to their bodies. So there'd be times where they'd start feeling depleted.
Yeah.
So they knew they probably needed something with a bit more iron and a bit more, awful.
Well, no, I was just thinking about them listening to their bodies, because after eating all those beans, there'd be a lot of listening going on.
Well, I think you're right, but I also think what the whole range was run on was coffee.
Yeah,
you know how I feel about coffee. There is I have a Cowboy Coffee recipe that I will give out right now that I was going to make for you, but I didn't. But I will next time you come over, because I ran out of time and I didn't get the donuts that I was supposed to get.
I know.
So a whole bunch of stuff from the other day. So what you take is, I found this great cowboy. He's a cowboy cook. Mm-hmm. And he talked about what you do is you get a coffee pot, like an old tin pot.
Yep.
And then you put in a quarter.
One of those blue ones.
Yes, right? Yep. And then I'll tell you about the old. So this is the modern one if you just want to have it for breakfast. So a quarter cup of grounds, and then a quart of water. So you want warm water before you put the grounds in.
Water.
And then you let it boil.
Yep.
And rolling boil for a good period of time. Take it off, and then the trick is you get a cup of cold water and throw it on it, and it drops all the grounds down to the bottom.
Oh.
And
you don't need one of those French press things.
Don't need that. And it also, he goes, you'll never have acid reflux. It takes the heat of the rolling boil, takes all that stuff out of it. You'll never have a smoother cup of coffee in your life.
So this is pre-percolated coffee.
That is exactly right. And there's because there's recipes with eggshells and all sorts of stuff. Nothing like that in here.
You put eggshells. I can't. Or people with salt in coffee.
I know.
Yeah.
Ew. So back in the old days, before they perfected it, they came out and they had green coffee beans, which would have been difficult, and they roasted before they would go out and then make it into coffee, but not always. Some of the stuff I was reading, it started out with the green beans,
and they ended up with the green beans. Yeah, that'd be pretty awful. Instead of roasting them.
So in 1865, John and Charles Arbuckle, grocers in Pittsburgh, patented a process for roasting coffee beans and treating the roasted beans with a mix of egg white and sugar to preserve their freshness.
Wow.
Don't think we do that anymore.
Well, because then they came out with the cans, the tin cans, which were pressurized.
Well, that would be right. And the coffee and the pre-roasted beans are still available today. So if we go to Pittsburgh, we might find it.
Remember the old coffee tins that you had the little key thing Undo It? Was that before your time?
That's before my time. I'm sorry. Not everything's before my time, but that one you in.
Yeah, but it was like the anchovy cans, with
Yes,
the little kid.
I saw the anchovy cans.
Right. Well, this was on the side of the can. You had the little thing that flipped up, the little piece of metal, and then you had to get it in there and then turn it all the way around, like, then without cutting yourself.
You had to work for it.
You had to work for it. Yeah.
Well,
but what I remember most of is that when my mother or father used to do it, as soon as it was like always wanted to be there when they opened the coffee up, because you hear that psst, and it's all that gas that comes in because it's letting the air back into it, and that aroma of the coffee just bang.
Good.
Yeah.
People I know that don't like coffee will smell the coffee because the smell is good. It doesn't taste like it smells. So now I gave you that.
It's like a cigar.
That's right. I gave you the refined recipe for Cowboy Coffee, so a quarter cup. In the old days, it was like a handful of ground coffee for every cup of water.
A lot of coffee, got it.
Yeah, it was often called 6-shooter coffee because it was strong enough to float a 6-shooter.
Okay, and now we got jerky.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about the jerky boy.
You're sounding like it's offending you.
Well, jerky,
How
did they get the name jerky?
Ha!
Maybe it was naming one of the cooks.
No. Au contraire, mon frère. I can take you back. Here's a little history lesson.
Yeah.
So Native Americans, and also South American Native or Native South American indigenous people had jerky, which makes sense as early as the 1500s because they dried meat that was there. But their word was charky, which means dried meat. So their word for it was charky. So I think just in translation, it became jerky.
Yeah. Nothing to do with the cook.
No. Although it's a good story.
Yeah, I like that.
I like the story.
Hey, who invented that? That jerk over there. He's messing around with the meat again, putting it out in the sun. Come on.
That's exactly right. So on the when the
it's just a way to preserve things.
That's exactly right. And it made sense because, people living, if you watch a Little House on the Prairie, they couldn't have everything fresh all the time.
No.
So you get ready for the winter and you put your eggs and oil the eggs and put them in hay and you dry the jerky out for it. And on the range, when they had to, butcher a cow because, got sick or something happened, there was scraps left over for the butchering.
Yeah. And
that was used to make, put in a salty brine and then used to make jerky. There's all sorts of ways to traditionally make jerky with the muscle meat, but have you made jerky in your dehydrator?
No.
I have. It turned out really well.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot different than probably some of the jerky we get, but
yeah,
like we get from the jerky lady that comes in.
Yes, Northern Territory.
The Northern Territory one. They even have camel jerky.
They do have camel jerky. Yeah. What if they do alligator jerky? Because you can get salmon jerky.
Yeah, salmon jerky. But jerky is very healthy for you because it is high in protein, very low in fat because all the fat is rendered out of it.
That's right, and it's just straight, and it's very flavorful. We have a lot of customers wanting things from us to make jerky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially like liquid smoke.
Yeah, and seasonings, and you put whatever you like on it. You can make it hot, you can make it spicy, you could make it sweet.
All of that stuff, and it's fantastic. I like a little bit of soy sauce, like I did mine with some liquid smoke and soy sauce. You can even use like Montreal steak seasoning. You can do anything like that. Mm-hmm. So it has kind of different forms of it are from all over because it was a natural preservative.
Yeah, it's what you want it to taste like.
That's right. I don't like hot jerky, so I wouldn't put it. But you can fill it with chili flakes. Like I've seen some beautiful ones.
There's just real extreme hot ones.
Yes, I know someone who I sold him a bottle of Dave's Insanity
to make jerky.
I never saw him again, so I don't know.
Probably a good reason.
I don't know what happened after that, but it's actually quite easy to make. So I mean, I had some meat that was on sale, and I just sliced it thinly.
Yeah, really thin. Yep.
I marinated it for maybe 6 hours. Could have done it overnight, and then just did it in the
and it reduces quite a bit.
It does,
and people say, "How come it's so expensive?" Because you start with a big piece of meat,
That's exactly
and
right.
it's down to nothing.
You're paying for the price of what you bought to make it,
and then all the time and stuff that goes into making it and packaging, whatever. And then the other big thing with the Cowboys is beans.
As beans and more beans. beans. That's right. And we have a thing because pinto beans are hard to find here. So luckily, we have pinto beans that we're able to help people out with.
Yeah, and black beans are more popular now, but at one time you couldn't even find black beans here.
No, that's right. The turtle beans is the other one. And they are essential when you make stews, chilies, all sorts of things. So with the beans, they kind of became very creative with the seasonings they use because you don't want to face those boys every day and be serving them the same thing every day.
No, that'd be...
So as they were in the Southwest, they picked up different chilies and different seasonings and added that as well. But there is a traditional recipe that's called cowboy beans, just cowboy beans.
Okay.
And it's basically beans you're making with a ham hock, and you've got a bit of a barbecue sauce, smoked meat, and coffee. A little bit of coffee.
Yeah, why not? Especially the coffee they were making.
That's right.
It's like syrup.
And the thought was you don't waste anything. Like if you had a cup of coffee, cold coffee left in there, you use that. You're not going to do fresh drinking water.
Yeah, I think coffee is probably a pretty well underrated flavoring.
Yeah, it's good in some rubs. So it's...
Well, you could do rubs with it, with the dried rubs using instant coffee, dehydrated coffee. But I made bacon jam.
Yeah.
You use a shot of coffee in that.
Yum.
And you hear it in the background. So if you're doing like a barbecue, you could use that. Use either the grounds, but I wouldn't use the ground. But I would mix say a little shot of espresso. Into barbecue sauce.
Yes.
Or probably even doing beans. Like if you do baked beans, the beans you buy, you could just simply buy the beans in a can. If you just get plain beans, drain off as much of that awful syrup that they got in there. Okay, and then add your own barbecue sauce, and then maybe like a little bit of coffee into it, and then I would put it into a casserole dish. Put some nice bacon on top of it. Put it into a slow oven for about 45 minutes, and then comes out, and it's good.
See, my mother does something similar. Where she'll get baked beans and then she'll char them up, so there'll be extra brown sugar and
you got to
just make it your own.
Exactly. Yes. You could put molasses in it too. If you want a bittersweet taste, you put the brown sugar, the bacon. To your own taste.
That's right. And I put coffee in my chili beans as well. Just a little bit. I've done that for years. It's sort of like the chocolate. I don't do those two at the same time, but I could try it.
Yeah.
And so if anyone, we actually have, by the way, we've got beautiful baked beans that I like the
bushes
barbecue baked, because nothing here tastes like it. Because we have the British baked beans here that have
which they eat for breakfast.
That's so weird and true, but it's a whole different flavor profile. So it's not like smoke. These are kind of smoky baked beans. So I do manage to get that little can every once in a while, and I might sneak that for lunch. But if you're going to make your own beans, it's sort of like a mystery sometimes. It seems a little bit scary, but there's some hints that we have.
Yeah, hints by Heloise. Oh, this is hints by Barbara.
Hints by Phil. Because you make the best beans in winter. Like, I'm so happy winter is upon us because it's time for Phil to bring in big food.
I do the slow cooking. It's slow.
You do.
Yeah, but I use other things besides beans as a as a thickener.
Yes.
I use lentils a lot.
Yes, you do.
And the red ones and the brown ones, and there's 3 different colors.
Yellow. Yeah, they're like split.
This is a cowboy show. It's yellow.
Yellow. That's right. Yeah, yellow bellied, yellow livered, whatever.
Yeah, so it's and it's healthy for you too. So besides being
let's not ruin it by saying that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right, and then another flavoring, sarsaparilla.
Yes, but hang on, we're going back.
Oh, we're going back. Did I jump ahead?
You did jump ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. So I'll just jump in.
Oh, jump in.
You know I do that, and it annoys a few people, but I have to do this. So you're gonna. Yes.
She jumped in.
That's it. That's told you we needed the little.
Yeah, the little horse thing.
That's right. So you soak your beans overnight. So beans are not something you go, I'm going to make dried beans for dinner tonight.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know you were going to give people a recipe.
Well, it's not a
that's
recipe.
right. These are hints by Barbara.
Hints, that's right. So you're going to soak them overnight, plenty of water with a bit of salt. Some people put baking soda in it, and I changed the water. I was taught to do that. Don't know why, but there you go. So then they're ready to cook the next day. You're not going to want to add barbecue sauce until they're soft if you're going to add it, because it has the sugars and things that can keep the beans too firm. And pinto beans were the choice of the Cowboys, but you can use, white beans, any sort of cannellini beans, whatever you like. And that is pretty much what you do. If you have a pressure cooker, you can expedite
it makes it much easier. It goes real quick that way.
That it does, and you can do that soaking bit, rinse them off, and cook them. So you can do that. So that's just a hint if you want to cook them from scratch. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and it's good to do things from scratch because you feel more satisfied when you're done.
Oh yeah, like nothing like I get excited when I see a good sized hammer hock, and I'm like, what can I cook around that?
Oh yeah, you just throw it into the pot of beans. Yeah.
Well, and then where I come from, country, so we had some Portuguese Cowboys because it's Portuguese, and there's Portuguese beans, which have like cinnamon in them as well. They are magnificent. I have to find, Mom, I need the recipe again. I know you've given it to me 27 times, but I need it again for Portuguese beans.
Okay, now can I go on to sarsaparilla?
Yes, you can.
From the sassafras root.
That's exactly right.
And that's where they make gumbo filet.
That's right.
Is sassafras root.
It's a very, it's a Native American product.
Yeah.
So, yes, sarsaparilla. So we're going back to the days of the chemists, which were the pharmacists making up, Coca-Cola and all those things, having a play around.
And sarsaparilla will have been probably like, oh, it's good for you, and it cures this, that, and the other thing, right?
Well, it cured a few things, they said.
Oh, okay. Well, they lied about it.
They did lie about it, but it also, it was like a nice, sweet treat when they were out. So that brought a little bit of joy. But do you want to know what they thought that sarsaparilla could cure?
Go ahead. Tell me.
Syphilis.
Oh. So you sprinkle it on yourself, or you internally or externally?
I don't know. Probably both. And they did say it could cure anything and everything, but I really think some people might have suffered.
It didn't help Al Capone. Well, he wasn't a cowboy, but...
That's right. So there were a few, sody pops out on the range as well. Not only that's sarsaparilla, you had root beer and birch beer and all those other
root beer
things.
and sarsaparilla almost taste the same.
Well, there is, it does. There's a cowboy town near where I'm from, and like you can go up there and pretend you're, pan for gold and all that.
Right.
But I loved it. They had a saloon, and the doors that swung open.
Oh yeah.
I was always little, so it was like went up to. And I could
You'd be like Yosemite Sam.
That's right.
It's Yosemite Sam.
Yeah. I'll have some sarsaparilla. So Mom would let me have sarsaparilla then at the old saloon.
Yeah, it's a big treat.
It is.
Okay, now you have a recipe here for that son of a bitch stew.
SOB stew. That is right. So it ended up being called, if they were like, a preacher or a lady around the Cowboys, they would then say like, son of a gun, or SOB.
Yeah, or shoot.
Yeah. But it was made when I said the guys were out for a while and they started feeling a little bit run down.
Yeah.
They would make this stew that had basically everything in it from the animal except the horns and the hooves. So it had heart, liver, not too much liver because it makes it a little bit strong, brains, sweetbreads, tongue, marrow, gut, and pieces of tenderloin made up the stew. The marrow gut is a tube that connects the two stomachs of a calf that's not been weaned. Wow. And it contains a substance resembling marrow. And that is what gives it its principal flavor.
I don't think you could be able to buy that in the market here.
No. And the thing is, it sounds gross, and it probably sounded gross then, but all of a sudden, everyone going, you know what I feel like? I feel like that stew. Yeah. And they all did about the same time, and then Cookie would make it up. And
so who called it the son of a bitch stew? Could have called it son of a gun.
Well, I think that was the name if ladies were present. But it was like they're using everything on that SOB.
Yes.
That's what it is. Now, we would like to apologize. Wait, do you want to do your news story?
Yeah, just in.
There's like a dentist has moved next door and is like drilling a giant's teeth.
Yeah, I know. I hear him
like, but that is our beautiful neighbors are renovating, and we don't hold it against them. God bless them. But yeah, you think they were quiet all morning.
All morning until we get here.
Until we get here.
So maybe we should talk louder and open the windows up.
That's right.
Yeah, and then play that music.
I could play a little Waylon Jennings. I'm sure they'll enjoy that.
Yeah. Kyle love it.
Kyle love it. Oh my God, that's a flashback.
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash.
I'm going to jump in here. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. Julia Roberts, right? When did she realise she got divorced? When she realised she was actually married to Lyle Lovett. That's a normal
That was the strangest. Someone was doing some hallucinogenics there. I think that's right. So now, Phil.
Yes, Barbara.
Now we're going to
Modern versions.
Modern versions of cowboy food.
Okay.
So
Bacon, which is like a jerky.
yes,
Because it's already cooked.
that's right. Because you used to get salt pork.
Yep.
And cook it up for breakfast. So we can thank the Cowboys for some bacon.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yep.
Chili.
Chili. No, I'm a bit warm, but not that cold.
Do you need a coat?
It's hot today, chilly tomorrow. Yeah, so chili came out of like all the stews and stuff they made with the beans.
That's right. When that comes out, and all sorts of beans.
And then everybody changed it around. You know, you got Cincinnati chili,
That's right.
Texas chili,
You got white chili.
white chili. Yep.
That's actually quite good with lots of Ortega peppers. You put that one in there.
Mhm.
Now we've got stews. So we've got, good old beef stew.
Yeah.
You've got whatever they were dealing with. So you can do chicken, you can do lamb, you can do whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Just throw it in a pot and cook it forever.
That's right.
You know,
With
if
some
it's tough, don't
potatoes
worry. Cook it a little bit more.
That's
It'll
exactly
tender.
right.
It'll tender right up there.
And cornbread and biscuits.
Yeah, we love cornbread. I love cornbread.
I love cornbread.
I don't get it enough.
No, well, we should just make it. We've got stuff to make it.
No, it's.
And we've got a little oven.
I don't know why we don't do that.
Well,
I like cornbread. It's
I
so
do
easy to
too.
make
It
too.
is
You know, especially
absolutely.
the jiffy stuff.
yeah.
You know, 1 egg, milk, and mix it together. You don't even have to mix it together where it's, so just like stir it and it's done.
That's right.
If it's lumpy, it's fine. Yeah, when it goes into the batter because
Okay.
it's
Do you want me to make cornbread at work next week?
yeah, cornbread's nice. Yeah.
Okay, yes, okay.
They're gonna make like Southwestern cornbread, regular cornbread, butter cornbread, honey cornbread,
We could have cornbread of the week.
cornbread of the week. We could do a whole section on cornbread.
Actually, we have a whole section of cornbread.
Yeah,
We can do that.
and then corn dogs.
Yeah, I'm not doing that though.
I know,
Because
but they're fried.
yeah, we need the deep fryer in, but
Mm.
that's a mess. I'll set off the smoke alarm.
Yeah, and so what else was like cornbread and biscuits, and I love biscuits,
Oh, I
and
love
last week's rant was about, or 2 weeks ago was about KFC and not having biscuits.
That's right. How dare they?
Yes.
Yeah, but we can offer you biscuits because we have biscuits at
Yeah.
the moment.
Mhm.
And we can have that. There's nothing better to sop up stuff with than cornbread and biscuits.
Yeah.
Like the bottom of the stew
Mm.
and fried foods in cast iron steaks, like
Yeah.
cast iron pans, like chicken fried steak.
Yep, chicken fried. Now, last time I had chicken fried steak at a restaurant was in Fort Scott, Kansas,
Mm-hmm.
at this nice little diner that we went to, and with my sister and Rachel, and we just you have to have it. Like you go
Yes.
there. Yeah, I want something that I could only get here. That's really good.
That's exactly
And
right.
I got the chicken fried steak, and it was
Do you have mashed potatoes with it?
no, I think I had it. I tried to say, well, if I'm having that fried, I don't want French fries, but I think I had coleslaw with it. I don't know. I don't remember now, but I remember
The
the
steak.
the steak with the gravy.
I love that so
Yeah,
much.
and it had biscuits too.
Oh, well, then you didn't need the
God,
mashed potatoes if you
no.
got the biscuits. I'll forgive you that.
Yeah, it's just, had the Trinity. So the fried chicken, gravy, and biscuits.
And all of these things have sort of carried on, and it's also pretty much affordable food too. So
Yeah,
you can
and
always,
it's hearty.
that's right. You can put on a pot of beans and be well nourished.
Yes.
Actually, I had a can of garbanzo beans for dinner last night.
Yeah, chichi beans. Yeah.
That's what I had. I did that with some garlic and some olive oil
Mhm.
and some breadcrumbs for a little bit of crunch.
Hot or cold?
Hot,
Hot.
Yeah.
Okay. So next time,
yes.
do it almost like the same way: olive oil, garlic, and some
Mhm.
parsley,
Mm-hmm.
and then mix it with some short pasta,
Oh, I thought about that, but then I thought,
like little like ziti, but the ones that are half the size
Yeah,
of the
little
ziti,
teeny
the
ones,
little
yeah.
bitty one. Yeah, that's really good.
ooh.
You could do that also with kidney beans.
Mm. Well, see, I was impatient. I was too impatient to cook the pasta. I did consider
Yeah.
putting some pasta with it.
See, a lot of times I'll have to just do that, like the beans, and I'll have it as a salad. So it's doing basically the same thing, but maybe a little vinegar onto it.
Yeah, Mom does that. She just, and there used to be an Italian restaurant. I know I digress, and I'll stop. But Risso's, and they would serve you like warm garbanzo beans with butter and garlic, and you'd squish them on the French bread.
Oh,
Like they bring that,
yeah.
so that's what you get them out. And you squish them. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. I know that's not very cowboy-y, but ooh, it was
Italian
good.
Cowboys.
That's right. There has to spaghetti westerns. That's right.
Clint Eastwood, yes.
That's right. Clint Eastwood would have that, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Actually, we need to watch A Few Dollars More. And I found some funny stuff with cowboy vocabulary on the range.
Could we say it?
I think we've got the ones we can say.
Oh, okay.
That's right. So, calf slobbers. It's meringue on a pie.
Cats. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get that.
That's right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Go in there. If you don't have a calf, you could have a dog with big jowls, like
Yes,
a boxer.
That's
You
exactly
get the
right.
same thing. Yeah.
And chuck wagon chicken.
Fried bacon. How do you get chuck wagon chicken out of fried bacon?
I don't know, but obviously it was a little joke.
Yeah.
Charlie Taylor, a substitute for butter, a combination of molasses and bacon grease.
Ooh.
I know.
God.
Do you know what I'm going to? Do you know, after reading a few of these, what I'm going to look into on eBay or Amazon somewhere?
Mhm.
A bacon grease can.
A bacon grease.
Because
can.
it like.
Well, that used to be the old coffee cans.
Yeah, but what you do, it has a filter in it, so it takes
Oh,
up
now
all
you
the
get-
solids.
Yeah, but it will just sink down to the bottom. It'll solidify on top, and the good stuff is on the bottom. My grandfather here,
Yes.
in English, they used to do that all the time from the drippings.
Yes.
And he used to put the drippings into a can, and then the bottom of the drippings, they spread it on the toast in the
Yes.
morning like Vegemite.
Yep.
And that would be like, there's no fat in it. It's just like the gel.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. Well, I'm doing it. Sorry.
With all that flavor of the
Oh
roasting.
yeah. Oh no, that's fantastic.
Yep.
Now, this is much like at work. If someone yells, "Man at the pot," a term yelled at a person pouring herself a cup of coffee. And
Yeah.
a cowboy's way of saying, "Pour me a cup
Up
too."
to, yep. Yeah, where's mine? And then we got a spotted pup cooking with raisins and rice.
I was like,
That's rice pudding.
Yeah, but isn't the British version of that spotted dick?
I don't know. I think that's savory.
I'm not sure. We're having a
Or
producer
maybe
look
that
it
has
up
something to do with sarsaparilla.
now. From spotted to clear. So stacked to a fill, a compliment to the chief chief cook following a great meal.
Yep. And then, of course, we got the prairie or mountain oysters. I always thought they were just lumps of doo-doo out there from the calves.
No, I knew it though.
So you could tell everybody.
It's cat testicles.
So you fry them or
Yes, everything's fried.
everything?
Okay, now spotted dick is a traditional British baked pudding historically made with suet and dried fruit, often served with custard.
Yeah,
There you go.
suet. It's like lard.
Yeah, that's why they did.
They're
Yeah.
not cured with sarsaparilla.
Now,
Cannot be cured with sarsaparilla.
Now, I found some other recipes since we're in the recipe
Yes,
part of it.
please.
Okay, so I love this one, buckaroo, buckaroo dip. So buckaroo snap dip, and like it's a hot dip, but with just about everything. The main ingredients is this one has sausage, corn, cheese,
Mhm.
and black beans.
Yum.
They call it the buckaroos. Yeehaw! So, and I'm having a tough time because I can barely read my writing, and I don't have my glasses. So anyway, chicken and cornbread is a cowboy casserole.
Oh,
All right. So I think what they're doing is they're making the cornbread, and then you stick it into the chicken, so it's like all
in it.
mushed into it.
I have made chili where I cover it in cornbread on top and bake it.
And then we got a Texas tornado cake.
Ooh.
So it's a creamy cake. So it's but the thing is they use into it a really weird ingredient to make cake.
What?
A can of fruit salad. You know, the fruit salad, the Libby's fruit salad.
Yes. I wonder if it's like a dump cake where you dump everything.
Yeah, but then they have layers of cream on it.
Ah.
Yeah. And then they have haystack cookies.
Oh, yes.
They do a lot of things with haystack. I don't know how coconut ever became into a cowboy thing because they didn't have no
There's
palm
no
trees.
coconut-
Yeah.
no coconut there.
So, but these are, like haystacks of chocolates.
Yes.
My mother, that was her favorite. So it's chocolate haystacks,
Yes.
which was, coconut, shredded coconut
Yep.
with chocolate. And the cookies are like similar to that.
Yum.
So they have some, a lot of, and then they yum yum cake.
Ooh, what's in that?
I know, it's just go yum yum. It's a no bake cake, okay, with pudding.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, and it's a yum yum. Yes. So it's
Gee.
something like my friend Bill and his wife Ginny, they used to call the cat, and then when she goes yum yums, and the cat like, "Wah!" Yeah.
It's so funny how we'll be grown adults and we say things to our animals as baby talk.
Yeah. I don't know. My cat's been hearing it from me lately. Yeah. Like, look what's on the floor. What do you think? It's poison? He's like, no, I'm not eating this. No, that's all you're getting. And then, maybe 5 minutes later, he thinks I'm away, and then he go over and he'll eat it, when I'm not looking.
He's not going to give you the satisfaction
No.
of enjoying it.
But there's a lot of different things. There's also a cowboy cookie with coconuts, oats, chips,
Yeah.
chocolate chips,
Yeah.
and pecans. Pecan comes in a lot of things, and of course, corn is in there too. Cornmeal.
Cornmeal. Oh, cooking with cornmeal is great. And there's a good salad that you can make with chopped up red bell pepper, corn, black beans, green onion, and then dressing on it. That's good
And here's
too.
some for the diet conscious.
Okay.
Okay, it's skinny Southwestern egg rolls.
Egg
So
rolls
this
and
has to do with probably with the Bonanza because their cook was Chinese.
Right.
Okay, no, I'm just
I'm
going
just-
off on it.
I'm
So
really-
anyway, so what you do is you buy egg roll wrappers. I don't
Yes.
know if they sell this. I know they
Yes,
sell
they
them.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
And then you fill it with chicken and taco sauce and beans again and salsa, and then you roll it up. And because it's
Skinny.
you bake it instead of fry it. Like,
Wouldn't that be a bit chewy? There's no crunch. You need the crunch.
I don't know. Maybe you got to fry it first and then you bake it.
Maybe that would work in an air fryer.
Yes.
Maybe you could do
Yeah,
that.
but you still have to need to spray a little bit of oil
yeah, you
onto
have
it.
to do something. 'Cause
Yeah,
you gotta crisp
to
it
get
up.
that crispy stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got to. This was a chipotle quesadilla, so
Ooh.
done with sweet potatoes.
Oh,
That sounds like a nice
that
combination.
would be a good
So
combo.
like the chipotle salsa, and then sweet potatoes, and then you make it into a quesadilla with cheese.
Oh, yum.
That would be good.
Okay, I could give that a try.
And then we got other things that I was thinking about. Roy Rogers. We talked about Roy. Now we're
Yes.
getting off. I'm going on a tangent
That's
now.
okay. He's a cowboy.
Yeah, he's a
That's
cowboy.
It's part of the topic.
Now there used to be a Roy Rogers museum,
Yes.
and it closed 7 or 8 years ago.
Right.
You know why it closed?
Why?
Well, first of all, it was in Apple Valley, which is in between. That's the high desert. When you come out of LA, go into Vegas, you come into Apple Valley. That's the high desert, and that's where it was.
right.
Okay, and so it was on I-15, very visible, signs all over the place. Because nobody knew who Roy Rogers was.
Oh.
By the time the generations go through,
Yeah.
who's Roy Rogers? I don't want to go there. Who's Trigger? And
That's so sad.
yeah, so they had to close the museum.
Oh. Yeah.
But they still have Roy Rogers hamburgers.
Oh.
Okay, so they're out of New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Philadelphia. And of course, they got the Big Sky Burger, but that's Montana.
Yeah.
But I used to go in there, being a pain in the ass I can be.
Oh, you're not at all. I don't believe that.
No, I used to ask for the Trigger Burger.
Oh God. I believe it. Do you know when I was looking getting off this, when I was looking at all this stuff, you know what I thought about? I thought about Longmire
Yeah.
and I thought about Yellowstone. Those two. I was just like, good old cowboy shows.
Yeah.
Like, that sort of.
Well, those are modern cowboy shows.
Well, they are, but
Yeah.
they still have that old sort of cowboy.
Yeah, because they remind you of your dad.
Well, yeah, Longmire reminds me of his
Yeah.
hands. He reminds me
Yeah.
of Dad. Dad, yes, Dad would have liked to be a cowboy, I think, but he came out to California and other things happened.
Yeah.
But I thought about my grandmother because in Oklahoma, that my grandma, my dad's mom and dad, they used to pick cotton. So
Mhm.
much like with beans and all this, my grandmother would get up at some ungodly hour and cook everything.
Yep.
And put it on the table and put a tablecloth over it. And then they'd come in and eat breakfast,
Yeah,
lunch,
after
and
they worked a
supper.
few hours
Yeah,
on it.
and they'd have that stick to your ribs,
Yeah.
hearty food. And it's like, it was a lot of work, like riding horses all day long or moving animals.
Yeah,
and
get those old saddle
that's
sores.
exactly right. And it, it's the American sort of spirit, that hard work and you pay off and the beautiful, and imagine being able to spend all your time in the beauty of that.
Well, that's why,
wilderness as well.
the Cartwrights needed a cook because, you're out on the field all day. You have no time to cook. Yeah, no TV dinners back then, no microwaves. You had to cook for hours.
That's right.
That goes back to our cereal episode, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For cereal.
Yeah,
That's
because they have to
exactly right.
cook forever just to have, something on the table.
Something to have.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think Cowboys and cowboy food, it is a romantic sort of thing because I don't care if you're from New Jersey or California or Kansas or whatever, when you have a barbecue or you have one of those get-togethers where it's an outing or a potluck, there's always some sort of hearty traditional food like that in it.
And there have been lots of great cowboy shows.
Oh, yes.
Blazing Saddles.
I love Blazing Saddles. The Three Amigos.
That's Mexican. Come on.
Oh, well, they're cowboys as well. There's a lot of Mexican cowboys. And yes, and we have City Slickers, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Modern cowboy.
Modern Cowboys.
Have you ever been to a dude ranch?
No, I haven't.
I have,
but
because
I've been to the Bonanza Ranch.
up in Tahoe.
Yes.
Or near Tahoe.
Yes. Now tell me about the Dude Ranch, because I think I saw an episode on the Brady Bunch where they went to one, and I always wanted to go.
Well, see, the Dude Ranch is in where you lived in New York.
Yep.
There were Dude Ranches around, but of course you have to go either to Pennsylvania or you went upstate New York.
Right.
So we went upstate New York to the Dude Ranch, and usually by snowfields up there and stuff too. So if you go in the wintertime, you spend time at the Dude Ranch. But when we went up there in the summertime, there was always, they organized everything, it's up in the Catskills. And so you have like baseball games, you got this, you got always something going on. There's always entertainment to keep you busy. Food was, incredible. You eat like a canteen type food.
Yes.
Here's your food. But you had all you want. One thing I do remember about it, the milk.
Yes.
And when I went up there, I was, I don't know, we were driving, so at least 18 or 17 or 18. And it tasted like no other milk I've had before, because it was the freshest milk probably ever, like right off the farm.
Yep.
Not coming down by a truck or anything like that. It was just great. But one of the stories is we went up there on one winter time because the guys wanted to go skiing. I never went skiing. But we went on we were staying at a Dude Ranch, and we decided to go on the horse thing.
Yeah.
So you get on a bunch of horses and stuff like that. And I'd never been on much of a horse thing. So we're going along the trail, right? And out on the road. And then, when you're sitting on a horse, you're pretty high up.
It's scary when you get up there because it hits you how high you are.
And then you're looking down. We're going over this bridge. You're looking down, and there's water flowing with ice, And it's like, well, if this horse decides he doesn't like me, I'm off there. I'm in that water, So anyway, so we're going around the trail. We're almost like halfway through. All of a sudden, the horse that I was on, like supposedly this gentle horse,
Yeah.
all of a sudden he hears this other horse down that we left behind, his girlfriend, I think it was. And he hears this, his ears perked up. This horse decided to say, I'm out of here and you'll come with me.
Oh, God.
This horse went into just about a full gallop. I'm hanging on to dear life because he said, I'm getting my little honey over there. This is a true story. I'm like Hopalong Cassidy. Like, how do I stop this thing? There's no brakes on. Yeah. And we're coming up to a fence where the horse is. I'm saying, this SOB is going to jump the fence and I'm on it. He goes full gallop and stops like 5 feet before the fence. And then of course, then the guys that are taking us around with the horse, he finally catches up to us. Well, that took care of all my fear of horses.
Yes.
From that point.
That's
okay,
right.
so I would have no fear now getting on a horse. I've been through the worst.
It's a baptism of fire.
Yeah, exactly. But this horse was like, he must have been horny or whatever, but he just, hear this horse, I'm out of here. Boom. He broke up from the pack and just took off. Everybody's going, where'd they go?
Why is Phil doing that? Where is he? You would have had your hair blowing in the wind while you were screaming.
Oh, God. I don't think I could have screamed. I was just hanging on, like.
That is funny. I can only imagine. But they scare the hell out of me when I'm on. Like, I think this is a great idea.
Yeah. Well,
And
why
then
am I
like,
doing it?
Why am I doing this? And
Yeah.
Similar thing. If something happens,
It's like going down to my friends at Coney Island, going on a cyclone, and I don't like heights. What am I doing on here?
what did I say? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, at least yes, you have managed it through, and there's your cowboy moment. Did you hurt for a couple of days after that?
Yeah. I think I went to the bar and hit the booze after that too. Just as chill. I got off there, like on Chester. He's all like twitching and stuff. That's how I got off.
I'm never doing that again.
Yes. All right, now we move on. Okay, so where are we now? All right, so Barbara, tell the people where we are.
We are going to be talking about Nat Nosh when we come back from this break.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if you're looking for us, we're over at 73 Cochran's Road in Moorabbin.
That's correct.
And we're there Monday to Friday.
Yes.
Every day, including Saturday and Sunday.
That would be 7 days a week, folks.
That's 7 days, yes.
And our only day that we start late is Sunday because, you need a little rest. So that day is 11 to 5.
I thought because we got a church.
Well, that too. But you could have gone Saturday night.
Oh, okay.
But you didn't.
I forgot both days.
That's right. It's like what we talked about last week. If you had donuts for the Eucharist, you'd be there 4 times in a weekend. And you can see us there. You can, and on June 26th, you can actually see us there because we're doing a live show again.
Yeah, so come on down.
Please do. It's going to be our celebration of the 4th of July.
Yep. So
there'll be treats, there'll be us, and we're our own treat, and decorations and happiness and fun. So come down and see us.
And don't forget the word for June is swoon.
Swoon. SWOON. You can put that in.
Let's just say it how the Australians would say it.
Double O?
Yeah. SWOON. Like when I'm writing things down and people say, "Oh, here's the number," and it's double, and I can't do it.
No, there's a certain age I think you can't do it.
It's just like I gotta stop.
They said double, and for the first year I was here, I thought it was like I started writing a W, double. That's the only one I need. Yes.
All right. So, do we get foreign correspondence?
No, we don't. But what we do have is don't forget to hit the listener discount logo and find out what the discounts are.
And they go for the whole month.
That is exactly
right.
And
they run out at the end of the month. So if you see something that you want to buy, it's on discount.
Get it.
And it's the end of the month. You better hurry up because when the clock ticks over,
that's it.
Gone.
That's all she wrote.
Yes. All right. So we'll do Nat Nosh.
Ooh, okay. Let's go.
Wednesday, June the 9th. Strawberry rhubarb pie day. Yes.
I love that.
It's like sweet and tart.
And it's beautiful.
And of course, you need whipped cream or ice cream on it.
Yes, a la mode. That's a good a la mode pie.
It is.
Yes. I forgot which
culture. All pie's a good a la mode.
That's right. I forgot which culture, but it could be the UK or it could be, I can't remember where it is, but the other name for rhubarb is pie fruit.
Okay.
I just heard it this week. I was
well, forget it because you won't remember it again.
Thanks. Right. So Thursday, June 10th, Herbs and Spices Day.
Oh, we have an Herb and Spices night?
Well, we're having a show coming up on Herbs and Spices.
Herbs or herbs? Herbs.
Okay. Stuff Martha Stewart and everyone else that says herbs.
Okay, so we have a Herbs and Spices Day.
Yep.
And National Black Cow Day.
Yum.
That's the ice cream with the root beer.
That's exactly right. I have a can of root beer in the fridge. I just remembered. Might be doing that later.
Yeah, you have root beer?
Yeah, no, I don't have root beer.
And it's also on the same day as iced tea day.
Yes. Now, sweet or plain? How do you have it?
Half and half.
Oh, very good. Well,
half lemonade. See, when I go to America, if you get sweet tea, it's too sweet.
It is. It's like
and then sweet. If you get the unsweetened one and you try to put sugar in, of course the sugar don't melt. It all goes down to the bottom. So what I simply do is say I'll have half and half, and that brings about the right nature of sweet. So it's half lemonade. For those who don't know, it's an Arnold Palmer.
Yum.
Half lemonade and half iced tea.
I like Arnie Palmer, so I'll have to give that a go.
And a lot of places now have strawberry lemonade too.
Oh, that's nice. That is very nice. Yeah. And hello, National Rosé Wine Day.
I got some good rosé wine.
Did you?
Yes, from France.
Not well, of course it's
Not
good
even
then.
Portugal. You think Portugal have good, but this was like one of these wines I bought by the case and has a mixed case, for
Yeah.
a special price. And it was from a place. The box had Shorty's on it. I didn't get it from Shorty's. I got it from some other, like I don't know, Qantas maybe.
Yeah.
And so I looked at their website, and there it is. And I bought a case of it because it's that good.
Oh wow! You know, sharing is caring, Phil.
Yeah. Okay.
Friday, June 11th.
Oh.
Now, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but it's Mexican street corn.
Yeah.
So, National Elote Day or Elote Day?
Elote.
So, that is the roasted corn on a stick with, slathered in butter and tahini or other lime or other seasonings.
And you know that one of the keys that you can learn from the Mexicans when they cook the stuff, their corn on the cob.
Yep.
And they do it in the husk. But before they do it in the husk, they put it in a big barrel of water.
Right.
And then this way it steams a bit when it cooks and it doesn't burn, even though the husk gets all burnt out. But you get all the flavor in it. And, whenever we could travel back to America, and if you're in the Southwest, or go to a flea market, okay, which is run by the Mexican cartels, most of them. and they all, I say that because all the beer is controlled.
Right.
So you get the beer with the tahini and the clamato in it.
Yep, red beer.
Yep. So you see all of that. And then also all the corn. And they have like these things, like a little conveyor belt goes through the oven and comes out the other end that roasts everything, with a fire underneath it. Yeah. And you get it, and they peel the husk off of it, and then alongside is all the butter and the spices.
Beautiful. Okay, I'm hungry.
Yeah. Okay. And so Saturday, June the 12th, National Jerky Day.
Well, that's why we're talking about it.
That's why.
That is exactly right.
So it's not your neighbor. It's the food.
The jerk.
Yeah.
It is.
That was a funny movie.
That was a funny
movie.
I love Steve Martin. I love him.
Remember, he didn't know shit from Shiola?
Shiola. That's right.
My father used to say that all the time. I never knew what Shiola was. Until I seen the movie.
There you go.
And it's Shiola.
Oh, dear
And if you want to know what it is, you got to watch the movie. But it is a real thing.
Yes, it is. It is. I looked it up. I didn't see the movie. Well, I think my dad used to say that too.
Yeah.
So it's an old
saying.
Yes, that's right. Now, also on that day is National Peanut Butter Cookie Day.
Yes. Everything with peanut butter is good. Cookies, fingers, whatever.
That's right. And Sunday, June 13th is
Cucumber Day?
It doesn't need a day.
Don't need a day. Did you ever do this as a kid? Right? When your mother or somebody's making a salad and they use a cucumber, they cut the end off and then they rub the end on the other piece of the cucumber and they stick it on your forehead?
No. No, I never had that happen.
It's sort of like, you put cucumber on your face, so it's good for you. Next time you cut a cucumber, cut the bit end off, rub it on the other side.
Yes.
And then and it sticks right on there.
I will try that. I wish I'd known to do that to my kids.
Well, next time they're over, you say, "Well, having salad. Come here, help me cut the cucumber. Yeah, hold this."
Right there.
And then on Monday, the June the whatever day, 14th, yeah, is Strawberry Shortcake Day. Must have something to do with the tennis.
What could be? Now, I love strawberry shortcake. Mom made it with Biscuit, the shortcake biscuit, and then a little bit of sugar on top when she baked them. And that was beautiful. Yeah. Oh, hello, Thursday, June 15th.
Yeah,
two of my favorite foods. National Lobster Day. And although when Brendan took me out for my birthday for lunch, they said, we've got this, and we've got a lobster in the tank. And I was like, I can't be the person that condemns him to death. I looked at Brendan, I was like, I'd feel bad.
They give you a little mask when you go in the restaurant. Put them on. Him! Yeah. Oh, no, not me.
Oh, yes. I want one that I haven't seen swimming around. And
you don't want that one.
No, I don't want that one.
If it's floating.
No, not that one. Not the lazy lobster floating. Okay. Back to some semblance of something. National Cannoli Day.
Oh, hey, now
That's our
we're talking about good
favorite
cannolis, Don't forget the cannolis.
That is right.
Yeah.
I was telling Phil, I went into our local shop that has cannolis, and we got a little treat and coffee. And this burly road worker kind of came in. He goes, "Oh," he's talking to his mate. It's my weakness.
Is this a Dolce Sicilia?
And then they said, he goes, "Oh no, I won't get any." And it's like, and he looked and he looked and he went back, and then at the end, because I was getting our stuff and I walked out, and he goes, "And I'll have 15 cannolis." Well, I'm sure he's bringing some back to the crew, but we're going to be talking about cannolis and some Italian pastries coming up as well. So that's
and they have for those non-Italians. The Italians celebrate every Saint Day with a different pastry.
That's exactly right. So there's a lot of room, and there's a lot of festivals in certain areas.
Except for St. Lucie.
Really?
Yeah.
What is
St. Lucie, I remember we had pasta with kidney beans or chichi beans, which is chickpeas.
Yeah.
And then no. St. Lucie did not have a pastry. She had pasta with beans.
Oh, well,
Pasta
I'm sorry
frozzle.
for St. Lucie.
Yeah.
We had St. Blaise. We used to have a St. Blaise Day.
Yeah.
And they go and 2 candles, and they bless your throat.
Oh yeah, bless your throat.
Right,
I remember that.
St.
Yeah.
Blaise Day.
Hey, you don't want to get a sore throat all year.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, go get.
It's like,
I didn't know what date that was. That's a saint.
yeah, St. Blaise. And I remember my mother, because I always got sore throats and bronchitis. She goes, "You got to make sure."
Yeah, you got to go
You're not
get
missing school
blessed.
that day. You're getting blessed. And I was like, "This is." And even as a kid, I was going, "This is really this is weird."
This ain't gonna work.
And that might be why I'm a lapsed Catholic at the moment. I don't know. So now next week.
Yep, it's the herb and spices.
Yes.
It's not like peaches and herbs. Can we get them into?
Reunited.
Yeah.
No, we can't, but we use, as a people, we do use a different set of herbs and spices. And
Yes,
this stuff
exactly.
people try to find here.
Mhm.
Luckily, we can get some stuff in for them, but, different
Blends.
of it.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about that next week. And I think, we have a special sign-off, which I think you would appreciate.
Roy Rogers.
That's right.
Happy trails to you. It's time to say goodbye. I'm not reading it right.
No.
Happy trail. I'm just trying to remember it to you. You get the
No,
idea.
and he would say, after he sang, "Until we meet again, may the good Lord take a liking to you."
Oh. Him and Trigger and Dale.
That's right. Oh, Dale Evans.
Yeah.
God
Dale
bless
Evans.
her.
Yes. And you can't see him anymore in Apple Valley. But that's where he's buried.
Well, we can go visit his grave,
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
but I probably won't. But you can.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
Yep. See you guys.
Bye.